Most men kill attraction before it even has a chance to breathe, and they don't even realize it. Watch closely the next time you see a couple greeting each other. Really watch. What does he do? He leans in, but keeps his hips back. His hands tap her like he's following a polite script. 1, 2, 3, safe, predictable, forgettable. He thinks he's being respectful. What he's actually doing is asking for permission with his body, and nothing dissolves tension faster than that. In that moment, he doesn't become trustworthy, he becomes irrelevant. And here's the uncomfortable truth. A man who doesn't create tension doesn't get remembered. So why does she pull away? Why does the hug feel hollow, almost rehearsed? It's not because she isn't interested, it's because you're touching her body without ever speaking to what actually matters, her nervous system. Here's something most men never learn. In the female brain, trust, tension, and arousal aren't separate switches. They're wired into the same pathway, the same current, and if you don't know how to engage that current, you'll always feel like you're almost there, but never quite. Now think about this for a second. Have you ever hugged a woman and felt absolutely nothing shift? No pause, no breath change, no subtle pull toward you? That's not random, that's feedback. Because when you understand how to apply the right kind of pressure, not force, but presence, a hug stops being a greeting. It becomes a moment she feels. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 hidden touch zones most men completely overlook. Not the obvious ones, not the tired advice you've heard 100 times. These are the points where her instinct to feel safe collides with her instinct to feel something more. And once you understand how to use them, you don't just get a hug, you get a reaction she can't quite explain. Before we even talk about where to touch, we need to talk about who is touching, because this is where most men quietly sabotage themselves and they never see it. Your hand is not just a hand, it's a signal, an extension of your internal state. It broadcasts everything you're trying to hide. You ever notice how sometimes you touch a woman and nothing happens? No shift, no pull, no tension, it just dies there? That's not random, that's her reading you. If you're nervous, your hands betray you. Slight tremor, micro adjustments, that restless energy. She doesn't consciously think he's anxious, but her body feels it, like static interference. And if you're needy, if deep down you're hoping she validates you, chooses you, wants you, your touch becomes heavy in the wrong way. Not grounded, not controlled, grasping, like you're trying to take something, and that is where attraction collapses. Because nothing repels a woman faster than feeling like she's being used as emotional oxygen. I've seen this play out more times than men would ever admit. A guy leans in, puts his hands on her, and there's this subtle tension in his fingers. He's not leading, he's asking, begging without words, and her body shuts down instantly. Now contrast that with a man who walks in with zero urgency, no rush, no hunger in his movements. His hand lands, and it just stays there, not grabbing, not searching, present. That's the difference. So understand this clearly. If you don't fix the energy behind your touch, the technique won't save you. You'll just be performing moves with the wrong frequency. And women don't respond to moves. They respond to state. The state you need is what I call controlled capability, not aggression, not passivity. Control. Think about it like this. There's a difference between a leaf being blown across the street and a stone settling into the ground. The leaf reacts to everything. No direction, no will. That's how most men touch. Reactive, adjusting, overthinking, trying to get it right. But a stone doesn't ask permission to exist. It lands and it stays. That's how your touch needs to feel. Heavy but not forceful. Still but not dead. Intentional. And here's where most guys mess up again. They start rubbing. Always moving, always doing something. Because in their head, movement equals progress. Wrong. Rubbing is anxious. Rubbing is you trying to create something that isn't there. It's like you're working for a reaction, And women can feel that effort, that subtle desperation. We're not here to work. We're here to place, to hold, to occupy. So when your hand touches her, you don't fidget. You don't adjust every second. You let it settle. You let the full weight of your arm sink in. And then, nothing. You stay there. That stillness, that's where the shift begins. Because now her nervous system is confused. She's used to men constantly trying to please, entertain, impress. And suddenly, there's you, still, grounded, unmoved, not taking anything from her, not asking, just there. And that's when something interesting happens. She starts to react. Subtly at first. A pause, a breath change, a slight awareness of your presence. Because when you stop chasing movement, you force her body to create it. That's power. Now, once you understand this, once you become heavy, still, grounded, only then do the zones actually work. And the first one, this is where most men completely expose themselves without realizing it. They go straight for the waist. Safe, predictable, useless. The waist is where attraction goes to die. It feels like you're unsure, like you're keeping distance just in case you get rejected. It's the physical version of I don't want to make this awkward. And women feel that instantly. Then you've got the other extreme. Guys who go straight for the arse. No calibration, no build-up, just blunt force. And what does that communicate? I want sex. Too obvious, too early. You've killed the tension before it even had a chance to build. Because mystery is what feeds desire. If she already knows exactly what you want, there's nothing left to discover. So both ends fail. Too safe, you're invisible. Too direct, you're predictable. Which is why this first zone sits right in the middle. Hidden, overlooked, but insanely powerful when done right. The sacral base. Most men don't even think about it. But this is where everything changes. It's the base of her spine, that triangular bone between her hips, the structural anchor of her entire body, her center of gravity, her physical balance. And when you place your hand here, not your fingers, your palm, everything shifts, flat, firm, still, right where her spine meets her hips. Now here's the part that matters. You don't push her, you ground her, a slight inward pressure, and just a touch downward. Subtle, controlled, and suddenly you're doing something no other man does. You're taking over the job her body has been doing all day, holding herself up. Because whether men realize it or not, most women walk around tense, physically, emotionally, always alert, always holding structure. And the moment you apply that grounded pressure, you're telling her body something it rarely hears. You can let go. Not with words, with sensation. And if you hold it, don't move, don't rub. Give it a few seconds. 3, 4, you'll feel it. That exhale, her shoulders drop. And then the real signal, she leans back into your hand. Not consciously, instinctively, she's giving you her balance, her center. That's not just physical. She's giving you her balance, her center. That's not just physical. That's psychological, because in that moment, you've removed a layer of tension from her system, and where tension disappears, something else has room to grow. That's the part most men never understand. Attraction isn't always about adding more. Sometimes it's about removing what's blocking it. And when you take the weight off her spine, you open the door to everything that sits below it. Now you're not just another guy touching her. You're the one she settles into. And once that happens, her body starts making decisions her mind hasn't caught up to yet. Zone 2. This is where most men either hesitate or completely expose how little control they actually have. The occipital ridge, the predator's gate. And I'm going to be direct with you. This is not a safe move. This is where you stop being neutral and start being felt. We're not talking about the soft skin of the neck. Anyone can kiss a neck. That's beginner level. That's what every guy does when he runs out of ideas. I'm talking about the base of her skull, that hard edge right where her neck meets her head. Most men never touch it, not because they don't know where it is, but because something in them freezes when they get close to it. It feels too real, too dominant, too honest about what they want. And that's exactly why it works. Because this zone is wired deep into instinct. Think about it. In nature, the neck is everything. It's where predators end the fight. It's where mothers carry their young. It's where control is established without negotiation. So when your hand goes there, you're not just touching her. You're triggering something older than logic, something that doesn't ask for permission. And here's where it gets uncomfortable for most men, because the second your hand starts moving up her back, there's a moment, a split second where your brain goes, should I? Is this too much? And that hesitation, that tiny stutter between intention and action, that's where you lose her. Not because the move is wrong, but because you reveal doubt. I've watched this happen in real time. Guys doing everything right, good conversation, decent tension, then he goes to escalate. His hand starts moving up, then pauses, just for a fraction of a second. But it's enough. She feels it, and suddenly the entire dynamic shifts, because now he's not leading anymore. He's asking, and once you ask, you're done. So understand this clearly, it's not just what you do here. It's how cleanly you do it. No hesitation, no half moves. You either go or you don't. Now when you do move, your hand slides up her spine, past that safe zone where every other man stops. And then you take the back of her head, not aggressively, not violently, but firmly enough that it's undeniable. Your fingers settle just under the base of her skull, your thumb on one side, fingers on the other. You're not grabbing hair. You're not fumbling. You're locking into structure, bone, not surface. And in that moment, something shifts. Because now, whether she realizes it or not, you're controlling her frame. Where her head goes, her eyes follow. And where her eyes go, her attention locks. You've just cut off the outside world. For a few seconds, it's just you. And this is where most men misunderstand what's actually happening. They think attraction is about giving her more freedom, more space, more options. Wrong. Attraction often spikes in the absence of choice. In those brief moments where she doesn't have to think, doesn't have to decide, doesn't have to lead, your hand makes the decision for her. And that is relief. Not control in a loud, aggressive way. Control in a quiet, undeniable way. Now combine that with your eyes. Not darting around, not checking her reaction like you're waiting for approval. You look at her mouth, then her eyes, slow, deliberate, and you hold. No rush, no need to fill the silence, because silence here is pressure, and pressure creates anticipation. Now here's something most men have never even considered. When you apply pressure at the base of the skull, you're not just creating a psychological effect, you're creating a physical one. The tension in her jaw starts to release. Try it yourself sometime. Press into that area, you'll feel it instantly. And what happens when the jaw relaxes? The entire face softens, defenses drop. Her body starts shifting out of alert mode into receptive mode. All of that without saying a single word. That's what real influence looks like. Not talking more, not explaining yourself, but changing how her body feels in your presence. Now listen carefully. If you overuse this, you destroy it. This is not something you spam. Do it once, at the right moment, when the tension is already there, when the eye contact is holding, when she's already leaning into the interaction. You hold it, just for a few seconds. Then you release. And here's the part most men miss. The release is just as important as the hold. Because when your hand leaves, there's a drop, a subtle absence, and her body notices it. That contrast between presence and absence, that's what lingers. That's what replays in her mind later. Not the move itself, but how it made her feel, and then how it disappeared. That's where obsession starts. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Can I do this on a first date? Wrong question. That question alone tells me you're still thinking in terms of techniques instead of awareness. This isn't a trick, it's a language. And if you try to speak a powerful sentence in the wrong moment, you don't sound attractive. You sound out of place. The real question is, are you calibrated enough to know when the moment is right? Because if you are, this feels natural. If you're not, it feels forced. And forced is what makes men look creepy. Not the action, the hesitation behind it. So remove that hesitation completely. If you feel the impulse to touch her, do it. Clean, direct, certain. If you don't feel it, don't fake it. But never sit in that middle ground where your hand almost moves, then stops, then tries again. That almost energy, that's what kills attraction faster than rejection ever could. Because rejection at least shows you had the nerve to act. Hesitation shows you didn't even trust yourself enough to try. Zone 3. This is where it stops being a moment and starts becoming an imprint. The costal margin, the breath gate. We've already anchored her body. We've already taken control of her focus. Now we go after the one thing she can't fake, her breath. And this is where it gets dangerous, because breath is tied directly to emotion. You don't control a woman's thoughts first. You control her state. And her state lives in her breathing. Most men completely ignore this. They hug like it's a social obligation. Quick squeeze, a couple of pats, then they're gone. Dead energy, no impact. But the men who understand this, they don't hug. They take over the rhythm of her body. Let me show you what I mean. The costal margin is the edge of her rib cage, not the waist. Forget the waist. The waist is soft. It's neutral. It's where nervous men hide. You go higher, to the ribs. Structure, but alive. Because the ribs expand, contract, expand, contract. That's her breathing. That's her nervous system in motion. Now here's where it separates boys from men. When you pull her in, your hands don't wander. They land flat. On her side, ribs, fingers spread, full contact. And then you pay attention. Most guys never do this. They're too busy thinking about what to do next, instead of feeling what's happening right now. But if you slow down for a second, you'll feel it. Her breath pushing against your hands. In, out, in, out. And this is where you shift the entire dynamic. Slight resistance, not force, not squeezing like an idiot. Just enough that her body has to work a little harder to expand. It's subtle, almost invisible, but her body feels it instantly. Now something interesting happens. Her system gets a mixed signal. On one hand, slight restriction, a hint of tension. On the other, she's in your arms, close, contained, safe. And that contradiction, that's where the spark comes from. Because the brain doesn't like contradictions. It has to resolve them. Why do I feel tension but also calm? Why does this feel intense but not threatening? And in a romantic context, it labels that confusion as attraction, as chemistry, as something she can't explain. You've felt this before, whether you realize it or not. That moment where someone's presence makes your chest tighten slightly, but you don't want to pull away. You lean in instead. That's what you're creating here. Not by talking, not by convincing, by changing how her body breathes around you. And here's where most men ruin it again. They rush. They don't hold. They don't let it build. Listen carefully. When you have her here, chest to chest, your hands on her ribs, your body steady, you don't move. No tapping, no rubbing. You hold, heavy, still, present. And then you breathe, slow, deep, controlled, and her body will start to follow yours. This is real. It's called entrainment. People sink without thinking. So if you're calm, she drops. If you're intense, she rises. You set the temperature. You decide what she feels. Now imagine this sequence. You pull her in, your hand low, grounding her. Your other hand high, controlling her frame. And now your arms close, compressing her breath just enough. For a few seconds, she's inside your rhythm. Not hers, yours. That's not a hug anymore. That's influence. That's presence. And then you let go. Not slowly, not dragging it out like you're afraid to lose it. Clean, decisive. You release and step back. And this is where everything flips. Because most men cling, they hold too long, they stretch the moment until it dies in their hands. Why? Because they don't want it to end, because they need it, and that neediness leaks through everything. You don't do that. You end it first, always, while it's still charged, while her body is still adjusting. You take it away, and suddenly she feels it, that absence, that drop. A second ago, she was grounded, contained, held in something solid. Now, she's back in her own body, carrying her own weight again, and something in her wants that feeling back. This is where most guys get confused. They think attraction is built by staying, by giving more, by holding longer. Wrong. Attraction often spikes when you remove what felt good. That gap you create, that space, that's where she starts leaning toward you. Watch it next time. You step back, hold eye contact, say nothing, and she steps forward, not consciously, instinctively, closing the distance you created. That's the moment. That's when she's no longer reacting to you. She's moving toward you. And that's the line most men never cross. The difference between chasing and being chased, between forcing and pulling, between a man she tolerates and a man she feels. So understand this clearly. These three zones, they're not tricks. They're not some cheap sequence you run on autopilot. They're a language, a way of communicating something most men are too afraid to express directly. Control, presence, certainty. And in a world full of men who hesitate, who overthink, who second-guess every move, the man who acts cleanly, who touches without doubt, who leads without asking, stands out immediately, not because he's louder, but because he's undeniable. And that's what she responds to. Not perfection, not lines, not effort. Certainty. Cold, grounded, controlled certainty. That's the difference. That's what they don't tell you. And now you know. Why does this actually work? Let's strip the fantasy out of it for a second. No romance, no chemistry, no Hollywood nonsense, just biology. Because if you don't understand this part, you'll keep thinking attraction is random. Luck, timing, vibe. It's not. It's pattern recognition buried deep in her nervous system. And here's the uncomfortable truth most men don't want to face. You've been trained to be safe, polite, soft, non-threatening. You've been conditioned to smooth out every edge that makes you feel like a man. And then you wonder why she smiles at you but doesn't feel anything. Because you've made yourself predictable, domesticated. Look at the modern hug. That awkward lean-in, hips pulled back, quick pat on the shoulder like you're congratulating a teammate. That's not a hug. That's compliance. That's you signaling, don't worry, I'm harmless. And here's the brutal part. Harmless men don't get desired. They get tolerated. They get labeled as sweet, nice, good guy. And then they get replaced by the guy who makes her feel something she can't explain. You've seen it. Maybe you've lived it. You did everything right, said the right things, played it respectful, and she still went cold. Then suddenly she's talking to some guy who's less perfect, but somehow she's more alive around him. That's not coincidence. That's biology correcting your behavior, because her brain wasn't built in this modern, sterilized world. It was built in chaos, in uncertainty, in environments where survival actually meant something. So what does it look for? Not comfort alone. Capability. A man who feels like he could be dangerous but chooses control. That's the key. Not aggression, not softness. Controlled danger. When your touch is weak, uncertain, constantly adjusting, you signal that you can't even control yourself. So why would she feel safe enough to let go around you? But when your touch is grounded, precise, intentional, something deeper registers, not in her thoughts, in her body. You bypass the polite version of her. You go straight to the system that decides, do I relax or do I resist? And this is where most men completely misunderstand attraction. They think it's about saying the right thing. No, words are surface level. Touch is truth. You can fake confidence with your mouth. You cannot fake it with your hands. I've seen guys talk like kings. Then the moment they touch her, everything collapses. Their hands give them away. Too quick, too unsure, too hungry, and her body picks it up instantly. She might still smile, but internally closed. Now contrast that with a man who says less, but when he touches, there's no question, no negotiation, no micro adjustments trying to get it right, just certainty. And that certainty does something most men will never experience. It gives her permission to stop thinking, to drop the constant analysis, to just feel. And that's where desire actually lives, not in logic, in release. So when you use these zones, sacrum, neck, ribs, you're not doing moves. You're telling a story her nervous system understands. I can hold you. I can lead you. I am in control of myself so you don't have to be. That's the story. And if that story isn't real inside you, no technique will save you. Now here's where it gets personal. Because I know some of you are listening to this, and something in you is resisting. You feel it. That tension, that voice in your head saying this is too much. This feels wrong. What if she thinks I'm creepy? Good. That's your conditioning speaking. That's years of being told to suppress your edge, your intent, your presence, and you've obeyed it for so long that now even the idea of taking control feels foreign. But let me ask you something. How has that been working for you? Honestly, has playing safe made her want you more? Or has it made you invisible? Because at some point, you have to choose. Stay comfortable or become felt. And those two don't coexist. So here's what I want you to do. Not next week. Not when you feel ready. Today, pay attention to your hands. Watch how you touch people. Watch the micro hesitations, the adjustments, the uncertainty. It's all there. Then change one thing. Slow down, place your hand and leave it there. Feel the difference, not just in her, in you. Because this isn't just about her reaction. It's about your identity. Are you a man who asks, or a man who decides? Are you reacting, or are you setting the frame? Next time you hug a woman you're actually attracted to, don't half-step, don't hover, commit. Anchor her, guide her, control the moment, then end it. Clean, and watch what happens after. Watch her eyes, watch her body, watch how she re-engages. She won't understand it. She'll say things like, "There's just something about you. It's your energy." No, it's not energy, it's precision, it's awareness. It's you finally operating in a way most men are too afraid to. Now understand this. Having the map means nothing if you're too scared to walk the territory. And that's the real barrier, not skill, permission. Permission to take up space, permission to be felt, permission to stop diluting yourself to make others comfortable. Because real dominance, it's not loud, it's not aggressive, it's stable, it's controlled, it's the frame everything else exists inside. And if you can't hold that frame, you can't hold her attention, you can't hold her body, you can't hold her desire, because desire doesn't respond to words. It responds to presence, to certainty, to a man who doesn't flinch in his own intent. So before you ever touch her again, fix that. Decide who you are when you step into that moment, because once you do, everything changes. And if something in you recognized the truth in this, not logically, but physically, that quiet shift in your chest, that tension in your spine, then you already know. You've been operating below your level. Now you've seen the difference. The only question is, what are you going to do with it? Now here's the part most men never get to, because they stop at technique. In the next video, I'm going to break down how to escalate without touching at all, how to make her feel tension, anticipation, and pull before your hands ever get involved. If you think you understand the game now, wait until you see that, because once you combine that with what you've just learned here, you don't just control the moment, you control the entire build-up before it even happens. That's where it becomes unfair. But for now, you need to see this in action. Watch the video appearing on your screen right now. It connects directly to what you've just learned, and it will show you how to deepen that tension so she starts chasing you without even realizing it. Click it. Don't break the momentum. And if you're still here, you already know this isn't surface-level advice. So subscribe, turn on the bell, and stay sharp. Most men will never understand the game, but you do. I'll see you among the few.